This is Romancing the Neighbor's Babysitter. It's copyright January 10th, 2017. This is Chapter 1. Home of Brett Carpenter, the suburbs, 701 West Belham Road, Greenville, South Carolina, 39834. It's the afternoon, Saturday, June 4th, 2016. A single small cloud drifted high up in the clear blue sky as Brett Carpenter stared at it, sitting on his lawnmower cart, methodically cutting down the fresh, upstart blades of green grass. The small white cloud looked like a miniature woman, her figure perfect. He jostled going over a small hill section. Quickly he snapped his blue eyes downward and back at the slight hill of grass. Love fixated on his mind again. The sadness from the last babysitter of the Nelsons, an archaeology student who had now gone off to where graduate school work, was finally beginning to dissipate. Try as he made to force closure on his past romantic flop, his attempts failed. The buxom hourglass hot senior made the girls gone wild beauties look like average girls sitting in the back of drama class, pouting over the unfairness of the entertainment field's requirements. Alyssa had it all. Alyssa never showed Brett a second of attention, though. Alyssa was gone to New York. Filling his neighbor's backyard next door, the bubbly voice of a new babysitter Brett had not yet been introduced to by Mrs. Adrian Nelson, the medical doctor, filled the air. Water splashed and the two twin 8-year-olds, Savannah, a red-haired girl, and Sylvester, a black-haired boy, yelled and screamed, "Get in, get in, get in, Sophie!" One large arc of clear cylinder-shaped water from their green water hose, Brett assumed, rose high over their mutual white picket fence and plummeted downward on the twins' head, face, and bodies as they squealed again. Brett did not know her name yet, but now he did. Girls named Sophie always looked perfectly proportional and great in a black t-shirt and light blue jeans. He neared their 6-foot white picket fence on his John Deere lawnmower and turned around to mow another perfect line of grass in his front lawn. "I'm not getting in, twins. The plastic pool is not big enough." "It is so," yelled bossy Savannah. "I order you to get in, Sophie. Now!" A peal of astonished laughter from Sophie followed bossy Savannah's demand. "Oh, ha, ha, ha." "Yay," cried Sylvester in a smiling, happy voice. "If you were my friend, you'd get into the pool." Brett looked back up into the sky as his John Deere mower moved away from the white picket fence. The cloud stretched out taller and now looked like a full-grown, shapely woman. He shook his head. Maybe he was imagining things. He turned to his blue Tudor house with its sloping brown roof and then back into the blue sky. "It is a woman," he muttered. "This must be a sign from God." 35-year-old Brett chuckled quietly. He craned his neck looking backwards as he reached the far end of the lawn by the gray fence of his other neighbor. His other neighbor, old Mrs. Wilson, grew a floral garden for a contest. Bees often came across from Mrs. Wilson's yard to Brett's yard. Good fences may make good neighbors, Brett thought, but it sure cuts down on population control. Facing the drifting female cloud now as he mowed his lawn toward the white fence, Brett heard Sophie's lovely voice argue. "Twins, I'm not wearing a swimsuit." "Buy one," Savannah ordered. "You can wear my mom's swimsuit," said Sylvester in a giggling tone. Brett now knew something of how Sophie looked. Mrs. Nelson had a hot body for the 35-year-old. Brett really liked to get it on with her if Howard Nelson, also a medical doctor, ever divorced her, which Brett concluded was not likely to happen in a million years. And besides, his job as a software developer did not compete enough to win her over. Brett really wanted to marry early, but he lacked money. All the pretty 10-scale girls ignored him throughout high school and college. He put all his energies into becoming a computer geek, aka the next Bill Gates. He got a good job at Console Corp, developed several apps for laptops and Android cell phones. Finally, he secured enough wealth to afford what wealthy men enjoyed. Vacations to faraway places like Tahiti and New Zealand. He enjoyed his new swift transition. All the hot, pretty girls finally paying attention to him without any effort on his part, though Brett refused to show off his wealth, except for his fancy Cobalt SRT Viper 2016 car. He dressed modestly in clothes that fit his leisure and work activities. Dress shirts of cobalt light blue, white, light green, and some checkered red and black shirts paired with black pants or jeans. He wanted to fit in as middle class. If he made any more money, he would soon attract the gold digger females. A pleasant problem in itself, but right now Brett wanted to settle down with someone honest and sophisticated. He had worked his butt off to achieve the material life able to attract the woman of his dreams. Furthermore, Brett was convinced again that the woman he would marry lived over the 6-foot white picket fence next door. He closed his mind to blonde Alyssa and locked the pain of that failed relationship away. His heart brightened. He concluded, time to be a new man if I want to marry the girl of my dreams. Let's drag her in, Sylvester, ordered 8-year-old Savannah. No, you don't, squealed Sophie. I have animal anatomy class today. Grab her other arms, Sylvester. She won't let me have it, whined Sylvester. Oh, ha, 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 laughed Sophia. You two won't get any ice cream, chocolate cookies. I'm not helping, Savannah, Sylvester suddenly whined. You little weakling for her brother. Brett listened playfully amused at the sounds of an 8-year-old red-haired girl struggling with what had to be at least an 18-year-old college woman. A garden hose blast of clear water ran hard and fast. Suddenly, the garden hose water arched up high and over Brett's end of the fence and hit the outside corner of his front gate. Brett laughed aloud. Sophia grunted. Savannah yelled, put me down this instant. Only when you've gone for a soaking swell, quips Sophia's lovely voice. Brett listened as his back moved away from the white picket fence. How he wanted to go over and introduce himself. If he were a real bad boy, he'd have Sophie's name and number already in his cell phone. Nevertheless, he fantasized about being a bad boy. He needed to start becoming one, being bold, going after what he wanted. A large splash sounded behind the white picket fence. Savannah laughed and giggled. I'm all wet now. You were already wet, you little redhead mermaid, said Sophie. Savannah is all wet, yelled Sylvester. Sophie laughed. Brett's face found a wide smile on it without him even realizing it. He wanted this young woman. She had to be beautiful, brunette hair, slim. All men wanted to wake up next to a brunette-haired woman. Blonde women came with too much drama, Brett concluded. He glanced at his watch. Howard and Adrian Nelson played tennis, Howard's hobby. They will not be home until 4 o'clock. Then Brett can casually poke his head over the fence and get Adrian to introduce him to their new babysitter. He kept mowing the lawn until meantime. His heart listened with joy. His mind inspired intrigue and assigned to Sophie a selfless morality. She studied animal anatomy. Her big selfless heart wanted to help animals at the very least. Unless she drew the creatures, he hoped not, because to his mind, artists were selfish. No temperamental artist wanted to babysit an 8-year-old pair of twins, though. He styled his auburn hair in a conservative corporate fashion. At 5 feet 9 inches tall, he did not tower over the model's height of girls. Lucky for him, most girls' height ranged shorter than 5 feet 9 inches. Next, he wondered if he should start working out. His runners were skiers' body looked good, but it was not the bodybuilding type of romance novels. Maybe she liked skiing. Girls mentioned his cute laugh lines in his cheeks when he smiled at them. All he needed was an excuse to talk to the new babysitter. Anything. His lawnmower came back to the white picket fence. Brett turned around and started to drive back when the twins screamed, "It's going over the fence!" The blue, white, green, and purple beach ball bounced on one of the dull points of the white picket fence, rebounded, and flew in the air and hit Brett Carpenter on the back of his head. He turned around and saw the colorful beach ball rolling to a stop. Brett kept moving on the John Deere mower, then stopped. "This is it," he muttered low. "I can meet her." He stopped the John Deere mower. He waited. Seconds later, a soft, melodious voice of a woman spoke. She barely could get her head over the fence on her tippy toes. Brett mentally measured her height at 5 feet 5, 8 inches tall. "Hello, Hello." Brett got off the mower and laughed. "You want your beach ball back?" "Just a second." Brett got back on his mower and drove up to the far end of his lawn. It never paid to be too eager to meet a pretty girl. He made that mistake with Alyssa. The red, green, blue, and white beach ball rested against the white picket fence. "I'll get it for you." Driving up, he got off his John Deere mower. "Did that old man give you our beach ball yet?" commanded Savannah. Sylvester added, "That old man is nobody's friend." "You don't know that, Sylvester," Sophia replied. "I do, because Alyssa said he had no friends." Sophie laughed. "He better not pop our beach ball," Savannah shouted. "Gosh, twins, be nice to your neighbor. He hasn't done anything mean yet." Nervous, Brett grabbed the beach ball. His fingers palmed it as if the beach ball were a basketball in his attempt to appear macho to Sophie. The red-haired woman had a round face from the partial amount he saw of it. She did not have brunette hair, though. She was cute. Her eyes, nose, and thin lips looked sophisticated, like a rich society hostess' daughter. Split down the middle, her red hair was long and curly. She wore a peach t-shirt. Her eyes, a divine blue, sparkled. "Here's your ball." "Hi, my name is Brett Carpenter." Sophie grabbed the ball carefully to avoid the wood fence spikes again. "Thank you, Mr. Carpenter. This is the children's favorite toy." "That's a good sign of intelligence. Children who can use their imagination while at play is good, instead of simply sitting in front of a television set." "Oh no, Dr. Adrian would not allow them to do that. And Dr. Howard either, for that matter." "Are you a child psychologist?" "No, I'm in computer software development." Brett struggled to remember what to do in his nervousness. "Ask for her number," he kept reminding himself, to no avail. Brett noticed Sophia seemed confused. I make computer apps. You know, like apps for GPS or websites or posting things to a website or games. Apps that launch your movies, YouTube, mail, share documents of a file, things like that I make." "Oh, I get it. Yeah, apps are very popular. I use a travel app and a veterinarian app. The vet apps tells me when something is happening that is cruel to animals anywhere in the world." "Come on, Sophie, he's not a child. You're our babysitter friend," complained Sylvester. Ordered Savannah, "Come back this instant." Sophia turned back. "Hey, I'm the boss when Mr. and Mrs. Nelson isn't around." Sophia laughed. Brett laughed. He wanted to talk to her longer. "I must get back to work, Mr. Carpenter. Even though I love it, it is my job." "When will I see you again?" "I don't know, Brett, Mr. Carpenter. You're much older than I thought." "I told you he was an old man," Savannah yelled and threw the beach ball at Sophia. Sophia turned around, picked up the ball, and threw it back at bossy Savannah. "You like that, huh?" Sophie chuckled. Savannah giggled. "You're another bossy girl like my mom." Brett laughed. "You have your hands full." Sophia transferred her gaze back to Brett. "I love children." His blue eyes pierced the distance between them. "I can tell by your bright smile and that peaceful look on your face you love children." "I don't have any children." Brett hurried up and corrected his misconception. "I want them. I haven't met the right girl yet." Her blue eyes lighted up in her face as he stared at her. "You're going to Greenfield Community College," he said. She laughed gently. "Yes, I have to get back to work. I went there before going out to Silicon Valley. I moved back here 5 years ago." He paused. "I'll see you again, Sophia." Sophia waved from the middle of the Nelson's backyard as she picked up the garden hose and sprayed the children. "Thought I forgot about you two monsters," the 8-year-old twins squealed. Brett kept watching for a second from the lower part of the white picket fence's V where he chatted with Sophia. He turned away abruptly before any of the children and Sophia could conclude that he was a creep. And promptly he remembered, damn, I never asked for her phone number. So that's the first chapter of Romancing a Babysitter. It is a novella, a realistic kind of a story of romance about a guy who has positioned himself to have all the external things that have attract a good attractive female, and he believes everything is going to go smoothly, but there are a lot of ups and downs in his attempts to get this girl Sophia to like him. As in anything, nothing is easy in fiction for the main fiction characters. So this novella is on sale at Cupiderosbooks.com, and you can also find it on Littlecupiderosbooks.win, and it's at my Lulu.com store as well. So thanks for listening. I have other romance novellas and novels on my sites, and do subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.